it's the Jazz, Utes, Cougars, or Aggies, these guys have got you covered.
Time to eat, fellas.
You're locked on to Jake Scott and Ben Anderson.
1, 2, 3, move it.
On 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. This PGA Championship update is brought to you by Mountain Land Supply, Zions Bank, Black Desert Resort, Hoops Vision, and Siegfried and Jensen. Now, here's Real Golf Radio's Brian Taylor.
The PGA Championship is underway. Jake and Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Joining us now from Charlotte, North Carolina, Quail Hollow, our buddy, co-host of Real Golf Radio, Brian Taylor. What's up, BT?
It is humid out here, boys.
Yeah,
let's put it that way.
It looks hot, and we know the area, obviously. Are you excited on these first days? I've got to imagine, there's the build-up, and there's the couple days leading into it, and all the talking points. Is it nice to just actually have the guys take the field?
Yeah, absolutely. Especially this week, it's been so rainy, and guys couldn't even practice on Monday, got a little bit in on Tuesday and Wednesday, but, it hasn't been ideal conditions. So a lot of these guys, it's just like, let's just see game time kind of action here. But, yeah, it's awesome to see them out here. There's great crowds out here. We walked the front nine, the first nine, I should say, which was the back nine with Tony Finau this morning, and they were playing right behind Scotty and Rory and Xander, and there was a ton of people. There were following that group. We would kind of go back and forth, and it was 10, 15 deep watching 1, 2, and 3 in the world. So, yeah, it's been fun. The golf course is playing different than I thought. I went on with JJ and Alex, and I told them I thought they'd get to 20 under like they did last year at Valhalla, given the amount of rain they've had. But what I didn't count on was this sub-air system that's kept these greens super firm and bouncy. So it's really unique. You're coming off of everything is soft and squishy until it hits the greens, and then it's these really firm, big bounce, and that's why you're seeing a lot of the guys that are overshooting the greens, and the players are going to have to adjust for that.
So, not to ask you an engineering question, but how does that work? Is it like just a giant vacuum under the green, or what?
Yeah, they do. They actually, yeah. So it's Augusta was the first to do it that I know of, where they put this suction, kind of system underneath, and it just draws the water down out of the roots, I guess. And I don't know. It is an engineering question. It's amazing to even think that someone would consider such a thing of laying miles and miles of whatever kind of suction that you would need to be able to make that happen. But I guess it's like that, that home vacuum system with the little wall plugs. It's got to be something like that, right?
I have heard from reading some of the lead up to the tournament this weekend that this is a course that lacks character. Do you feel that way, and can you compare it to other courses that maybe have a little bit more of that aura or spirit?
That's an interesting comment. I haven't read that. I'll be honest, this is my first time being on the golf course, and so we were around yesterday and today, and I actually think it's got quite a bit of character. I'm kind of surprised by that. I'll put it this way. We had a chance to play Bethpage Black last year. Last summer, Bob and I went out, and they're hosting the Ryder Cup there. Tiger won a U.S. Open there and so forth. But, to me, that lacked character. It was just a big ballpark. So if they're trying to say, hey, this is a big ballpark that's just the only reason it's hard is because it's big and long, which it is the second longest major championship venue, maybe that's true, but I don't see it. There's creeks that run all the way through it. You've got some nice bridges. You got beautiful trees. You've got, the pine straw. It's very kind of Augusta-like, if you will, as far as the kind of the beauty of it and the way it's manicured and maintained. There's uphill shots. There's downhill shots. There's big greens. I guess I disagree with that. I would say Torrey Pines, Bethpage Black, some of those are a little bit more, in my opinion, just big, long golf courses. I think this has a lot of character.
Looking at the leaderboard, BT, is this the most uninteresting leaderboard you've ever seen?
This is what we talked about.
I couldn't
Nothing
care
but big
less
names,
about
right?
any of these guys. Luke Donald is the biggest star at the top. What?
we actually have two reigning or current Ryder Cup captains that are in better position than the world's number 1, 2, and 3. I mean, it's unbelievable. Keegan Bradley and Luke Donald. Maybe we'll just settle the Ryder Cup, here and now. Winning captain wins. We don't even need to go to New York later this fall. But I mean, Steven Jaeger. I'm looking at that whole leaderboard. First of all, Jaeger's never led any major championship round ever. So that's interesting. And if you just go all the way down that leaderboard, maybe Matt Fitzpatrick, he worked really hard a few years ago on his swing speed. But other than that, you got to get down to John Rahm at tied for 15th before you even find a quote unquote bomber. And when you're talking, this is supposed to be just bomber's paradise out here. And so, it's funny because we did the show and it was like, hey, this stat stood out to me that, in the last 40 majors, the winners have come in the top 50, except for Phil Mickelson when he won at Kiowa back in 2021. And so you think, hey, it's going to be a big name guy and all that kind of stuff. Plus Scotty's playing well and Bryson won and, Rory's coming off. So you think this is all big name, heaven. And then I'm like, it never tends to go like it's billed. And so who's going to spoil this thing? And I threw out Tom Hoagie just for fun. And, he hasn't teed off yet, but he certainly would fit. I wouldn't be surprised if he's right there with Steven Jaeger and Ryan Sherrard at the end of this day.
By the way, it was Hunter Mahan who said, I guess I would say Quail Hollow is like a Kardashian. It's very modern, beautiful, and well-kept, but it lacks soul or character.
Wow.
I did see that from Hunter. And the picture, are you looking at that on social? Like it shows a picture of Hunter, too?
No, I pulled it up. I just pulled up the article because I remember reading it and I wanted to see who it said.
I love it that Kardashian has turned into an insult. I think that's pretty creative and amazing, actually. Yeah. Wow. BT, thank you. Enjoy.
Yeah, enjoy
and we will enjoy yours and Bob's coverage. Thanks, buddy.
Yeah, you got it. See you guys.
See ya. Brian Taylor, Real Golf Radio, every Saturday morning. Listen every week, but their coverage of the majors is particularly good, especially when they're there.
Absolutely.
All right, stay tuned. Mike Smith going to join us, give us a little playoff
He's
breakdown.
He's not playing in the tournament?
I'm surprised. Well,
Yeah.
that's the U.S. Open because, qualifying, you got to get there. That's probably Mike's best, route. Stay tuned. 97.5 DKSL Sports Zone.